Welcome to the Hope Unlocked podcast. I'm Kristin Kurtz, your host. I pray this episode is like a holy IV of hope for your soul. Please help me welcome Rob Rene to the show. So excited to have him here today. We just met. I love, meeting new people, having new connections, and I just know without even knowing that this is going to impact the one here today. So, Rob, before we get into your story and what you're up to, would you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I call myself a faith-based AI wellness futurist, and I know that's a lot of
Yeah.
words, but the Lord has put me through this amazing journey the last 6 years,
Hmm.
and He's taught me so much and really changed as a human being dramatically in that
Yeah.
that 6 year period, and I
Hmm.
attribute it all to His glory. So it's been an amazing journey. So it's gonna be fun to talk through it and like you
Yeah.
said, I'm praying that we can help one person. That would be my prayer today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, tell me your title again.
It's a faith-based AI wellness futurist. So
Okay.
I
I've
love,
never met one before.
yeah,
So you are
I'm a one
standing,
of
yeah.
one.
Yes. Tell us a little bit. We'll get into that more deep down the road, but I wanted you to just share a little bit. If somebody is listening, they're like, "What does that mean?"
Right, right. And what that means is the Lord has taught me so much about wellness and health the last 6 years that I've been on just an incredible journey, and we'll talk through that
Hmm.
journey. So wellness is very, very key to who I am and what I want to do. I want to help people get off the couch and be well and be healthy so
Yeah.
they can help make an impact in the kingdom. But
Yeah.
I also love technology and grew
Okay.
up in technology, and I spent 25 years in a corporate career selling enterprise technology.
Okay.
And so AI is super exciting, but also AI can be very dangerous, especially in the faith-based world. It can be very woke and very,
Yes.
very dangerous. So I believe that one of the reasons he has me here on this planet is to help people navigate that
Yeah.
journey with
Yeah.
wellness and with technology. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to do is help people navigate that
Mhm.
new exciting world with technology, but also make sure that you're grounded in your faith and that you really should be listening to God more than you
Yeah.
should be listening to myself or
Mm.
or to AI, right? Or
Right.
to
Right.
anybody. And so
Yeah.
that's that's what I tried to do with a faith-based AI wellness futurist is I want to help people navigate that.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, take us back. So you said you were in tech for like 25 years, correct?
Yeah.
What got you into tech? Like take us back, maybe
Yeah, so
childhood,
my
even to like,
journey is
yeah,
pretty nuts. It's like I can look back now and see that the Lord is so good, right?
yeah,
As Romans 8:28 tells us, right? He does
yeah.
everything for our good. And
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I've been through such a crazy journey. Even this last year, I'll have to
Yeah.
say this last year was the toughest year of my life, by
Oh,
bar none. And we'll talk through that. But let's go
okay.
back to early days, right? In the early
Yeah.
days, I grew up as a runner. I was a young man, and that was what I thought my goal in life when I was young was to be a professional runner. I was
Okay.
really good at running, and I read a book called to Win, and
Mm.
that book was really important to my running career because I was a distance runner and
Mhm.
learning how to fuel your body with God's nutrition, right?
Mm.
What he put on this earth was was very, very important to my youth. And then in college, I got a full ride running scholarship to a Division I school, and everything was
Oh,
going
wow.
just s swimmingly.
Yeah.
And I got hit by a 4x4 truck out on a training run.
Oh my gosh.
And so it threw me 36 feet, and I landed on my face and almost died that particular day. And so the Lord saved me that day. That one, it was my throat got clogged. My friend, if he hadn't known that I had a bloody nose earlier in the run, he could tell I wasn't breathing. He literally unclogged my throat. And
Oh my
so
God.
if he wouldn't have unclogged my throat, I wouldn't be here today. And I've had literally five near-death experiences so far, and I'm
I,
praying I've only ended up with five, and
oh my
but
God.
for some reason the Lord has kept me
Yeah.
here, and my gosh, I
Mm.
really feel like I need to to make a difference because he has me here for a purpose.
Yeah.
And this last one is like the one that really shook me and has just changed my entire focus in my life. But to answer your question was, what got me into the corporate life is after that accident, I was in college and I could no longer run for a living with after that, and I ended up finishing my degree and I got a job at a software company.
Okay.
And when I was in that job, I ended up moving up the ranks and in the
Mhm.
software world and worked for large software corporations for 25 years. So that was
Wow.
a big part
Wow.
of my
Okay.
growing. And then, another really big part of my journey is what I call the second truck. When the second truck hit me, which is the pandemic, then
Yeah.
that's what really started
Mhm.
this last 6 years of my life being so dramatic and so different and
Yeah.
literally God led. So
Yes.
uh,
Well, I want to hear just a little bit, I've talked to people previously who've had such a massive redirection in their life. Like what was that like for you as a young man to have this, I'm thinking like the verse Proverbs 3, 5 through 6, right? We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps, right?
right.
What was that like for you to have such a sudden shift? Like, what was that like for you to walk through that, literally?
Yeah, it was not easy. I went through a really difficult period of time
Mhm.
initially because it was like that. I'd been training for 10 years of my life
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
And for all of a sudden for it to be gone
Yeah.
was really heartbreaking. And
Mm.
but I've had an amazing brother as a mentor. I have amazing brother. He's 4 years older than I, and he
Oh.
was always my mentor.
Mhm.
He helped me. He'd go through life stages and life events before I
Mhm.
did, and he would
Oh.
always go back to me and say, "Hey, make sure you understand this and navigate this because this is what I had to do and I made the mistake of doing this
Yeah.
and so don't do that." So
Yeah.
one of the things that he mentioned to me is let's make sure you have something to fall back on just in case
Mm.
running doesn't pan out. And
Okay.
so I did well in school. And so I ended up finishing my degree and but that period of time of me
Mhm.
finishing my degree
Mhm.
was difficult in respect that, I literally had lost everything that I'd been fighting for.
Right.
And
Right.
mentally, it was really tough because I was like, who am I, right? What
Right.
that
Right.
was me. I
Exactly.
was I was a runner. I made the U.S. junior team. I was the second best miler in the country. I was just like right at the verge
Wow.
of being everything that I wanted to be. And then all of
Mhm.
a sudden, boom, it's all gone. And so I think that was the Lord redirecting my path. He's like, okay, I've taught you all of that.
Yeah.
Well done. You passed that test. Now you're on to the next test.
Mhm.
And that was, then unfortunately, I really did what the world tells you to do is I did recover from that accident. I finished my degree and I went and started
Okay.
working full time. And then I had the goals of doing everything the world wants you to do. The world wants you to,
Yeah.
you're told to go get a job at a large corporation and
Yeah.
you get married and you have a wife when you have three kids and you buy a house with a white picket fence and you get a dog and all those things are things that I did and I strove for, and it was a very selfish period. It was like me. How
Mhm.
can I have a better job? How can I make more money? How can I have a better schooling for my children? How can I provide a better house and
Mhm.
family for my wife? But it was all me, right? It wasn't how am I going to help other people? It was like, how am I going to keep my little fiefdom
Mhm.
going? And it took the pandemic to bring me to my knees again. And
Okay.
that's what really transitioned me as the human I am now was
Wow.
that second truck, because the second truck had a similar impact on my life like the first one. The first one, right? Everything was
Right.
perfect, and then
Right.
boom, it wasn't.
Yeah. Right.
And the pandemic, my corporate life was really good from a monetary perspective. I was making a ton of money, and things were going really well. I had all the accolades business in the business and the corporate perspective,
Mhm.
but there was no, my faith was, I was one of the, I call myself at that period was Sunday to Sunday Christian. I
Okay.
would go to church on Sunday and I would enjoy the sermon and I would enjoy the worship. And then as soon as the door hit me in the butt, I didn't think about church until I sat in the pew the
Wow.
next Sunday, right? It was like
Wow.
I wasn't acting like a true Christian. And it
Okay.
took the pandemic when the pandemic hit
Hmm.
and I started trying to figure out how to navigate
Yeah.
health,
Okay.
because it was like when that ha happened, I'd lost my corporate job
Oh, you
and
did.
yeah, because they downsized my organization because I was a traveling salesperson. So I covered the entire West Coast for
Okay.
my software company I was working for. And I couldn't travel, right, with the pandemic.
Right.
So they're
Hmm.
like, well, we're just gonna, downsize the sales team until we figure
Hmm.
out what's going on. So that was the
Okay.
first time in my life I'd not had a job and I had time to
Hmm.
kind of look at what's happening in the world.
Hmm.
And that was
Hmm.
incredible to me in that period
Yeah.
of time because I started investigating things and researching
Mhm.
things that I had never looked at. If you I, I was so busy
Hmm.
doing my job and
Yeah.
doing selfish things that I wasn't looking at what was going on in the world. I was really good at my job and I was really good at
Yeah.
entertaining clients and
Hmm.
doing my corporate world. But
Hmm.
when that ended, it was like
Yeah.
and I started doing the research. One of the things that woke me up, and it's funny the first thing you and I talked about was before the show was sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sun is so important to people, and that's one of the things that woke me up
Hmm.
to the corruption in our
Yeah.
healthcare system is today.
Hmm.
Was I was
Hmm.
doing research on how to keep my family safe, and I was leaning back on
Hmm.
the nutrition part, of
Yes.
what I'd grown up as an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Going
okay,
back to
let's
that
make
book,
sure my family has the right nutrition and we
Eat to
eat,
Win.
we eat the right things and
Yeah.
we utilize all the nutrients to stay
Hmm.
safe. And
Right.
one of the things I was researching was the different vitamins, and I saw this one doctor recommending vitamin D. I'm like,
Yes.
well, but then I also noticed that he was getting sued by the government for multiple billions of dollars with a B.
Right. I
And I'm
have
like,
a
holy
feeling I know
smokes.
who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, this is really bad, right? So
Yeah.
this doctor must be bad, or maybe vitamin D is really bad. So I started researching everything. So I
Mhm.
researched vitamin D, and vitamin D's, amazing. There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with vitamin D. So I
Yeah.
said, man, maybe this doctor is really bad. So I
Mm.
did research on him. It's like, what are the skeletons in his closet, right? There's got to be a reason. And my gosh, I couldn't find anything wrong with him. He's a great
Yeah.
natural practitioner who
Hmm.
was helping people. And then, so I was
Hmm.
like, what's the motivation? Why would they be suing him? And then I started doing
Right.
research on the motivation for them to silence this doctor. And
Hmm.
that, unfortunately, is where I really dug into a lot of research on how our healthcare system was taken
Yeah.
over in the early 1900s by the Rockefellers.
Hmm.
And when I started digging into those details, I started going down lots of different rabbit holes,
Yeah.
and
It's shocking, isn't it?
it was yeah. Once you see it, you can't
You
unsee it.
can't unsee it, right?
It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's like, oh my gosh, and it's like really made me. I felt like a death in the family, and we have a death, and you
Yeah.
go through those stages of
Hmm.
you know recovery. I
Hmm.
really felt that because I was like, how in the world did I live 50 years of my life and
Yeah.
have no idea
Right.
that this was going on? And so it really made me mad because like our
Yeah.
communication system is all,
Hmm.
in my mind it was corrupt because we're
Hmm.
getting fed an agenda. We're not getting fed
Yeah.
true information. I was like, how is that
Exactly.
possible in the great United States of America? Right?
Right.
I thought that only
Right.
happened in Russia and in North Korea.
Right.
That was my simple, silly mind at the time, but that's the way I grew up was that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
make a really long story short, I started doing a lot of research on health and the
Yeah.
healthcare system. And
Hmm.
then I really got disenchanted with the world. And,
Yes.
and, but the interesting thing is, I was like, okay, since I was getting this research skill that I love
Hmm.
so much now, I implore everybody to do this. It's like,
Yes.
don't
Yes.
believe me. Don't believe Rob Rene. Don't
Yes.
believe the media. Don't
Mhm.
believe the TV that you watch. Don't believe anybody or anything. You have to go research things for yourself. And
Yes.
when you start researching things for yourself, you'll start finding seeds of truth or places that you can find, right? The first place you need to go is to the good book, the
Yeah.
Bible. And
Yeah.
so interestingly enough, is during that period is when I literally started looking at the Bible again. I was like, okay, I've been a Christian for decades, but
Yeah.
am I really a Christian? Have I really read the book? Yeah, I'd never read the entire Bible.
Hmm.
And so I just said, well, let me do some research on the Bible. So
Yeah.
I did what a lot of people do. I ended up looking at a methodology called the TAP method. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but
I haven't. How do you
the,
spell that?
the TAP, the
TAP,
TAP
the
method.
tap method. Okay.
Yeah, and
Tell us more about that.
it's fun because you go through the textual criticism of the Bible, right? You're like, is the actual text accurate?
Hmm.
And there you look at all the research related to how authentic the
Hmm.
physical text of the Bible is, and
Hmm.
it's amazing. You go through that and you're like, holy smokes, this is the most authentic document ever created. And there's
Hmm.
so much evidence, right, that comes out even after the fact, right? Dead Sea Scrolls and all those other things that come and that validate the original text. And then you move on to archaeology. So then you look at all the archaeological evidence of the Bible, and
Hmm.
that's pretty undeniable as well. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, those two in combination are pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And then you end up with the prophetic. You
Oh,
look at
yeah.
all the prophecies that are mentioned in the Bible, and then
Yes.
you go back and look at how those prophecies are fulfilled, and
Hmm.
it's absolutely incredible. And
Yes.
you combine all three of those,
Yeah.
it's like there's no way to deny that the Bible is authentic and real. And so I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, if this thing is that authentic and that real, I better read
Yeah.
it.
It's probably a
Right?
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so that made me duh, maybe I should actually
Yeah.
understand what this thing
Yeah.
says. So
Yeah.
I did,
So did you do
now.
the tap? Like, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, no, please
Say
do.
if you, so for the listeners again, could you just say what each letter represents again? Just
Yeah, textual
um,
criticism. So
textual criticism.
for
Okay.
yeah, and then archaeological evidence,
Okay.
and then P is for prophecy, the
Okay. And I'm
prophetic
just
evidence.
curious, how did you find out about this
Yeah,
method?
my brother,
Oh,
again, my
your brother
mentor.
again.
Yeah,
You have a really great brother.
I do have a
I
great brother.
didn't reiterate. I didn't even say that earlier. I was like, you have a really great brother who walked alongside you to really help you and be kind of a trailblazer for you. So, anyways,
Yes.
so your brother told you about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's now a minister, which is
Oh,
which is interesting. So, but he was explaining to me, I'm like, hey, how do I best research this
mhm.
thing? And he's like, well, I would do this method if I were you. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, what's that? I didn't know
Yeah.
what that was, and so I researched what it was, and then I went through that process, and I really did a good job of not letting any outside influence
Okay.
on me, right? So I didn't
Yeah.
let my wife influence me. I didn't let my brother influence me. I didn't let anything influence me. I just wanted to take it in and let the Lord lead
Yeah.
me. And that literally led me to my personal relationship with God. I went
That's
from living a religion my entire life to
mhm.
a relationship. And
Wow.
that was really, really powerful when I realized that, oh my gosh, I can have a personal relationship with my Lord and Savior. That
Yeah.
is that is incredible. And that ever since then, that period of time when I really developed a personal relationship with him, I've really worked hard to listen. Say, okay,
Yeah.
Lord, I am yours. You're the potter, I'm the clay.
Hmm.
I'm listening. And so I've worked hard trying to let him lead me in
Hmm.
everything that I do.
Hmm.
And he's put me on quite a journey this last 6 years. It's been,
Yeah.
ups and downs like I've never had before. But and
Yeah.
when I look back on it, I literally know that it's been That's his design. That's what
Yeah.
he wanted. These are the things that he wanted to train me on, and
Yes.
this is what he wants me to do. So I wake up in the
Yeah.
morning. It's like I do my gratitude and prayer, and I was like,
Yeah.
Lord, help me make the right decisions today. And then I want to
Mhm.
use my time, talent, and treasure to
Yeah.
help your kingdom. So what
Mhm.
do you want me to do today? And
Wow, I love that.
it's really powerful.
Well, I would love to hear, you said
Sorry
that,
for the background noise if you can hear that.
oh no, I can't hear anything. You're good.
Okay, good.
And if we could, it's okay because this is real life.
There you go. That's right. Somebody came to my
Um,
front door. My dog's barking. So sorry about
No
that.
worries, no worries. So I just wanted to go back a second. I know you said that you really want to listen to what the Lord has for you, each day.
Yeah.
How do you hear him like most often? Like is there, some people hear him through different ways, through the Bible, through, other people. Like there's many ways we can hear him, but I would love to hear kind of like your journey the last 6 years and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
he's really spoken to you and that it's him. Ever hear something on this show that stirs something deep, like a nudge from God that there's more? That's stirring. It's not random. I'm Kristin Kurtz, host of Hope Unlocked and the founder of New Wings Coaching, and I'm inviting you into a 45-minute unlocking session, a sacred space to press in, hear what heaven is saying, and activate your next bold step. If you're a trailblazer or kingdom voice ready to break free from doubt and live fully alive, this is for you. Book now at newwingscoaching.net/hopeunlocked for special listener pricing. You were born to live uncaged and unapologetically bold. Now back to the show.
Yes, I've never had a audible, word from the Lord. Yeah, so I do it through reading, right? Reading His word, right? It's literally the living
Yeah.
word. And as you're reading it, you'll be reading a paragraph, and it's like you go back and read it. It's like, did I just read that? It's like
Right.
it's just amazing how your mind is communicating with Him, and or your mind could be drifting off and thinking about worldly things too. So you have to be a little careful of that. But
Yes.
I think it is really important that's a really good time to do it. But I find it a lot of times in just normal everyday activities as well, that
Mhm.
the Holy Spirit, if He's inside you, He's going to lead you, and He's going to prod you, and He's going to say, "Hey, you should go pray for that man." And I was so mad at myself just literally a couple days ago. I was
Oh,
leaving the coffee shop, and I was in a hurry because I had to get somewhere, and
okay.
unfortunately, I let life lead me instead of the Lord lead me, because felt this prodding to say
Yeah.
you need to go back and pray for that young
Oh,
man, and
yeah.
I didn't do it, and I literally was so mad at myself later on. I was like, Rob, he gave you clear direction to go
Yeah.
talk to that young man, and you
Yeah.
ignored him, and I felt so guilty. But
Mhm.
then maybe this is how he works, right? But the next day, I saw that same young man at the same coffee
I had a
shop.
feeling.
And I went and immediately had a great conversation with him and
Um,
talked to him about the Lord, and
yeah.
prayed with him and for him,
Yeah.
and it was maybe much more impactful
Yeah.
by doing that than if I would have just gone and
Right.
done a quick
Yeah.
prayer for him that day. So
It's amazing.
it is pretty crazy how he
Yeah.
works. So anyway,
Awesome.
that's an answer to
Seriously.
your question.
So, did you tell him that you were given this prompting the day before
I
and then
did.
kind of
Yep.
ignored it? I love
I
that.
did. I
Like
said, you
that
know what?
that
I was told to
honesty that
come.
he's probably like,
Yeah,
thank you
that's just
for,
me.
you know,
I can't help it.
right,
You
right.
know?
I would have done the same thing. There's actually a book, even before we got started talking, you had said, you really do things for the one, which is what I do too. And there's actually a book called I think it's called For the One, I believe. And the guy, like, it's literally a book of all these like encounters of, reaching out to the one. And there was a time where he had an opportunity to, talk to somebody and he didn't. And I think it was on an airplane, maybe. And he ended up going to a baseball game and literally at a baseball game, I mean, think of like tens of thousands of people like right away runs into this lady and like not only did she get saved, but her like relative got saved because of it. I just think it's so cool. And it's all about timing too. And thank you for going back and the fact that he brought you together. That's amazing.
Yeah,
You're like
he did. He's
it's a
like,
God thing. I like to say you can't make this stuff up.
yeah, you can't. And yeah, I've had so much of that God thing for with me this
Hmm.
last year that it's really it's not scary whatsoever. I don't want to say it. I just that's just a
Yeah.
it sounds scary, but it's not. It's just like the Lord is literally directing my life, and it's like
Yeah.
one of the most dramatic
Hmm.
things that's ever happened to me was I literally this last near-death experience is my heart literally failed on the operating table. And
What?
if I wouldn't have been at that operating table where I was that particular day, I would not be here with you today. If it was anywhere in the world without being at that operating table, my heart would have failed. And to make a really, really long story
Hmm.
short is I've had a heart condition called bradycardia for decades. And my
Okay.
heart beats slow. And so my backup is called a junctional rhythm is what beats my heart or
Oh,
had been beating my heart for
okay.
decades.
Is that like a
And
pacemaker kind of?
yeah, and so I didn't have one. That's just the way my heart was working without that,
Oh,
without
wow.
any help.
Okay.
And so over a year period, was told by multiple people, multiple cardiologists to
Mhm.
get a pacemaker. And
Okay.
I kept saying no, but I ended up contracting cancer.
Gosh.
I had melanoma on the back of my ankle, and
Oh,
that spread into my lymph nodes, and I have stage 3 melanoma. And
oh,
it
wow.
was like really scary period.
Yeah.
And as part of that journey, the oncologist said, you know, we may need to do surgery on your tumors, and but we can't do surgery on your tumors because your heart is too, slow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally ended up going and getting that operation because of my cancer and
Okay.
my heart on the way to the operation, I almost fainted, which is a sign of your heart failing. And
Yeah.
2 weeks before that, was sitting on the couch and I almost fainted, just sitting on the
Oh,
couch doing nothing.
oh
So
my gosh.
my unbeknownst to me,
Hmm.
my heart was failing, and it literally failed on the operating table while I was getting my pacemaker. And the only reason I was at that on an operating table was because I had gotten cancer. So
Oh my God.
I am 100% sure that
Hmm.
I got cancer because he knew I wouldn't get my heart fixed unless I went through that journey.
Oh
And it's like there's no way I was going to be at that operating table if I didn't get cancer. And so
wow.
I was too stubborn. I was going to do it myself. And
Yeah.
he's like, okay,
Yeah.
if this is what we have to do, this is what we have to do.
Oh my
Uh, and
gosh.
so anyway, that was the one. Is like I look back at that, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like
Wow.
only and I was saved. So the reason why I'm saved is there's got to be a reason, right? This is like the fifth time that he said, no, you're not
Yes.
coming to see me yet.
Yeah.
It's not your time.
Yeah.
You have to go make a difference. And so, man,
Mm.
I am on fire for God. I'm on
Yeah.
fire for making a difference. And He's given me time, talent, and treasure
Yes.
that I need to utilize. And I'm
Mm.
not utilizing it for me. I'm utilizing it to help other people. And so,
Yeah.
I've changed my entire world. It's like I don't care about my house. I don't care about my car. I don't care about any possession that I've ever owned. Like I
Yeah.
used to be very, technology forward. I wanted every single gadget. I wanted the best of it, biggest and best of everything. And now I
Yeah.
don't want anything. I don't care about anything. I just want to help other people. And
Yeah.
I'm building a business, and I
Yeah. I was
want it
gonna
to,
say, well, how are you? What are you
yeah.
doing? What are you up to?
He's given me this time, talent, treasure, right? He's given me
Mhm.
this, and
Yeah.
I want to use what he's giving me for good. So I've literally created a company that's a wellness company and he's taught me about light therapy. He's taught me about frequency therapy. He's taught me about fuel, the nutrition and molecular hydrogen. And then he taught me about faith. So I
Mm.
literally have what I call the light code, and the
Yeah.
light code is light, frequency, fuel, and faith. And the combination of those is the light code, but the combination of those is everything that he's taught me. It's like
Mm. Wow.
everything the Lord has taught me about health, and
Mhm.
I need to go educate people about the light code because it's transformational in my life. And if it's
Yeah.
transformational in my life, it's going to be transformational in other people's lives too. So
Yes.
that's
Wow.
that's what I'm out trying to do is help
Yeah.
people one at a time, right? So there's one person
One at a
who
time.
is struggling today with their health. I've got some amazing tools that I can help you with that are 100% free. Then I
Yeah.
also have a whole system that can help you if you want better help than the free tools. So I
Mhm.
I can
Wow.
meet people where they are, and I've got
Yeah.
solutions to help people. So
Oh, I love it. What
been a
is the
crazy
name
journey.
of, yeah, what is the name of your business?
It's called Exodus Strong. So,
Great
um,
name.
one of my favorite, passages is Exodus 15:26 is, for I am the Lord, your healer. And
Mhm.
so we created a supplement that's part of my business.
Okay.
That's part of the fuel pillar. And
Okay.
that Exodus supplement is really amazing. It's got 7 biblical herbs and superfoods as part of it. It's got organic barley grass and wheatgrass, which people are missing nutrients with all the corruption of our food supply.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are eating ultra processed foods all the time, and so barley grass and wheatgrass really are helpful for the nutrient part of it. That what they're missing. It's got saffron in it. Saffron is amazing at mood and so stress and anxiety has been known to support that. And
Mhm.
then it's got aloe. Aloe's got some amazing
Oh, yeah.
gut health properties. And then it's got cumin, frankincense, and myrrh. And
Wow.
cumin, frankincense, and myrrh, the combination support inflammation relief. And so I have a podcast called Biohackingville. And in that podcast, I interview a lot of holistic practitioners. And
Oh,
so
amazing.
those practitioners tell me that the source of all disease is
Yeah.
inflammation. So
Mm.
I'm like, well, geez, if we can reduce inflammation, then hopefully we can reduce some of those problems and issues. And
Mhm.
so that's
Wow.
why we created. Then the Lord led me to a gentleman who helped me add a molecular hydrogen blend to
Okay.
Exodus. And that
Oh,
molecular hydrogen blend really makes it special, this supplement, because it's not just like a normal supplement you can go get off the shelf. It's got
mhm.
those 7 biblical ingredients, which are awesome. But then it's
Mhm.
got this molecular hydrogen blend that when you do research on molecular hydrogen and the benefits of molecular hydrogen is
Mhm.
really fascinating. It acts as molecular hydrogen acts as a master antioxidant. So it goes
Mhm.
into the bloodstream and gets rid of the bad cells in the body and then helps the good cell, and helps the mitochondria
Mhm.
process work really more effectively. So it's been
Amazing.
fun. I this whole system that I've developed is it all comes down to the mitochondria. Your cells within the body are constantly dying off and constantly new ones are being created. But there's a lot of stresses on our
Yeah.
mitochondria because of the air, because of the food, because we're living inside all day long. We're not getting the light.
Yeah.
And so this light code system that I've developed is pretty amazing. Red light therapy and near infrared light
Mhm.
really help the skin, and it goes into the mitochondria, and even the near infrared goes deep inside the skin and helps
Mhm.
your mitochondria from the outside. And then the molecular hydrogen helps you in on the inside. And then
Mm.
our frequency products help level out your your body, right, from an energetic perspective. So, and
Wow.
then we have every single product we have comes with a prayer guide. Because
Oh,
I really want you to literally declare out
yeah.
loud with your mouth a prayer, because there's power in our tongue, as the Lord
Mm.
tells us. And so when we declare that out loud with our mouth, and then
Mhm.
you're reading it with your eyes and you're hearing yourself say it,
Yeah.
that you're using those multiple senses that God gave you for
Mhm.
your health. So that's my passion,
Wow.
right? I want to really help people with the light code system.
Yes.
And then, we have these red light therapy mats that are just full body mats that are
Okay.
just phenomenal. We
Okay.
have face masks that women absolutely love, helps the collagen in the skin. And then we have a little targeted therapy wand, and we have some frequency solutions that are just
Okay.
fascinating on how frequencies impact the body. Stuff I didn't believe. Like I thought those were nuts when people first started telling me about it. I was like,
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
that cannot work.
Sure.
And then I started researching the body, right? I was like,
Yeah.
the Lord's like, okay, I want you to learn about frequencies. And so I went through a year and a half of study on frequencies and how your body is made up of energy, and our
Yeah.
cells are so fast. God designed this temple so cool. It's so
Hmm.
complex that we still can't figure it out. I mean, even the best scientists in the world, they can't even explain a lot of the quantum world and the quantum realm that's in our world.
Hmm.
They have no answer for how it works, but they do know things happen to the body that they can't explain. So it's
Right.
just fascinating. But anyway, we were talking about frequencies for a second, when I was researching the human body, we're made up of energy, and even our cells, when they interact via vibrations, and those vibrations give off a frequency. And so
Hmm.
it's like literally down to our cellular level, our bodies both react to frequencies as well as give off frequencies. And
Hmm.
so that's fascinating. I found that you can
Yeah.
take healthy frequencies and you can apply them to the energy system in your body, and it has an impact, a physical impact on the body. So we created these little skin patches, and now we have a mist that's pretty neat that you can just spray on
Oh,
your
awesome.
body that has these frequencies on it. But we also, these little crystalline structures are really cool because they can hold information, kind of like a computer hard drive can hold
Okay.
information. And we include a frequency on it, but we also include 40 Bible verses on every patch that we have,
Really?
and every mist. It's like literally the word of God is applied to your body via
Wow.
frequency. So that's
It's
a really
incredible.
unique thing that we do as
Wow.
part of the light code system. So I'm
Okay.
having a blast with all of
That's
those
so
things because it's
incredible.
like fascinating things that have helped
Yeah.
me in my journey, right? And
Right.
so
That's so cool. So when did you launch?
I've had a wellness company for a couple of years. We used to be called QE Strong,
Okay.
and then Exodus Strong is just about a year old now. And that's when we started our supplement brand. And then the Lord taught me a
Okay.
lot about light therapy through my
Mhm.
journey, my melanoma
Yeah.
journey. And just for people's curiosity's sake, I'm winning the big
I was
battle.
gonna ask.
So
I wanted to
yeah,
know. Tell
I
us
am
about
so
that. Tell
excited.
us. Tell us.
Everything when I first got diagnosed, when you get the C word and it spreads into your lymph nodes, that's really dangerous. It can
Hmm.
typically spread very, very quickly, and most people only have a few months to live after it spreads into your lymphatic system. And I
Hmm.
was lucky enough to stop the spread, and
Hmm.
then over this last year, I've transitioned my body to be a fighter instead of a producer of bad cells in the body. And so I've been successfully able to reduce the tumors in my body by over 50% now, and it's continuing to decrease. So I think I've figured out the way to win it, and
Yeah.
now I'm just going finishing the process. But it's a really long-term process to get
Yeah.
rid of it and to change
Hmm.
the body. And
Hmm.
I've been meeting with practitioners literally all over the globe on how to
Wow.
win and how to do the things that I need to do to save my life. But and
Yeah.
also everything that I'm learning, I know that God is like, okay, I want you to go learn about this now. And then
Right.
guess
Right.
guess what I need to do with that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep it for myself. I want to go share with other people my
Yeah.
journey so that they understand how I did it. And as part of my journey, God is so good. He
Yes.
he he uh he keeps being there for me. I talked about the heart journey, and I have another really crazy God story that if you have a few minutes, I can tell you
Yeah.
that
Please tell
that
us.
that God story is
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
nuts.
Please
Uh,
do. The
it,
crazier, the better.
this one
The
is just it's kind of unbelievable. A little over a year ago, I went to a conference here in Dallas,
Mhm.
Texas. It was a wellness conference, and I at that time my leg was swollen up dramatically because of my lymphatic system being plugged up, and I had to walk around on a scooter, and I
Oh,
had to have my leg wrapped every single day. My poor wife had to wrap my leg every single day
oh,
to keep my so I could move, and the it was really cumbersome, really difficult. But anyway, during that conference, I met with a lot of people, and of course, a lot of people give you their recommendations on what you should do with your health. That three
mhm.
different doctors recommended this one center down in Cancun
Yeah.
that I should go check out immediately.
Mhm.
So I did my research, right? The skill
Yeah.
set that
Good.
I've worked on so hard, and I
Mhm.
just researched the heck out of this doctor that they were recommending in this place down in Cancun, and man, I was like, that looks so amazing. And
Mhm.
the therapy they do there is really revolutionary and something you
Mhm.
can't get in the States. And
Yeah.
so I contacted them, and on Monday or Tuesday they connected with me and told me the price. It was like $150,000. It was like,
Holy moly.
oh man, it's like, and it's cash. It's like
Oh,
it's not like you have insurance
right.
to do it. So I was like, Lord, I don't have $150,000 to do it.
Right.
And I literally during the research, it was like watching these testimonials of
Mhm.
people who've been cured and
Mhm.
saved. It's the same problem I had. I was like,
Oh,
this, I want to go do this, but then it's $150,000. I was like
yeah.
literally on my knees praying, crying
Mhm.
out to the Lord.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Do I suck up all the pride I have and sell everything I've got and just go do this? Is that what you want me to do? Do I do a GoFundMe and beg people to
Mhm.
give me money so I can go do
Yeah.
this? I was like, what do you want me to do, Lord?
Mhm.
And I was, obviously very, very down. I was very
Yeah.
depressed. I was just literally crying. And on Wednesday, I think it might have been a week later, but very, very soon after that, I was on a phone call with my Facebook ads team that does my Facebook ads for my company.
Okay. Yeah.
And the guy on the call said, "Hey, Rob, do you have a solid tumor?" I'm like, why are you asking me about my tumor on a Facebook call?
Right.
So I said yes, and he's like, "Well, let's talk right after this." So I talked to him right after the call, and he's like, "Hey, I just got off the phone with this center down in Tijuana, and we do all of
Mhm.
their Facebook ads." And he said they're doing some advanced treatments, and they're looking for candidates for this advanced treatments. And, I was just like, really? And I was like, what? And literally, I
Yeah.
contacted that company,
Yeah.
and make a long story short, they accepted me as a patient, and they literally are paying for the entire treatment. Um,
Stop it.
it's like, is that not a God? I mean, that's like, it's
Oh,
like
I mean, again, like I always use the phrase, you can't make this stuff up.
there's
Like
no
you
way to
can't,
make that
you
up.
could not like create this
There's
solution.
no way, no way. And I had never heard of this therapy before. I'd
Mhm.
never, I mean, and the therapy I'm getting is the exact same therapy that the center in Cancun was that they were telling
Seriously?
me about. So it's just like
And they're
there's
paying you. Let's just,
yeah.
you guys, if you're listening, that a week he's crying out because there was a huge expense that he was potentially going to have to pour into. A week later, God provides the solution. And they're not only like helping him, but they're paying him to do it.
It,
I just had to stop and make sure you guys
Yeah,
heard that.
no, yeah, you're exactly
Like,
right, and it's like I can't believe that God is so good
um,
that He's done that. So that for Him to do that for me and then to save me my life through the my heart problem,
yes,
I was like, okay, Lord, I get it,
yeah,
I get it. I'm here. I am here. I
yes,
am yours. Nothing else
yeah,
matters. I am yours, and so
yes,
lead me, Lord, because not I mean I am your vessel, and you've
yeah,
saved me
yeah,
multiple times, and I know it now, and I get it, and I thank you for saving me. And what
yeah,
can I do to help people? Because he doesn't want me. I haven't got my upgrade yet.
yeah,
So
yeah,
when I get my upgrade, the only
mhm,
thing I care about when I meet Jesus is for him to say, "Well done, good and faithful servant," because
Yeah.
Literally nothing else in my life matters.
Oh,
I love my wife and I love my children, but my relationship with him is number one, and I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do. So
yeah.
pretty
Take that to
pretty
heart, you guys. Like just that last word he just said, what did you just say? I want you to repeat it again because I want somebody to really hear what you just said, that last
yeah.
sentence.
So it's like I am his vessel, and I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do.
Yeah. And it's usually going to look pretty crazy. I left corporate, I actually worked in the corporate side of healthcare. I left in 2021 and I put up a big fight because I was like, I can't even take money from the system anymore. COVID was my big awakening.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
So,
for you.
the Lord will call us into places and spaces and leave behind incomes that, are, they look like wonderful and oh, yay, 401k, you've got all the things that you ever need, but He's going to call you out and he'll call you up. And I'm so thankful that you have been on this journey. I know it's not been easy. I've been on a wild roller coaster as well, but he loves ones that are willing to say yes. So, and he loves everybody, of course, but it's the the big yes that it's just going to make such an impact. You already have made such an impact. So I thank you for you sharing today. What is the best way for people to get a hold of you and to hear more about I'm going to call it a business tree?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do a lot of things to help, right? So, but my main way I'm helping people right now is through Exodus Strong. So it's literally exodusstrong.com. And
Okay.
that's where you find the whole light code system, right? We
Mhm.
have amazing red light therapy products. We have some really interesting frequency products, and this Exodus supplement is something that everybody should be using. It's just a super awesome supplement that adds value to your life. And then the faith pillar, right? To be able to
Yeah.
pray about your health and the ways to pray for your health. And then I've got a light code software that I've created that helps you through that journey. And then another piece that where people can connect with me is I'm creating a community called Biohackingville. And
Okay.
the Biohackingville community is where I interact with people a lot more often. It's brand new, it's just getting started, but that's where I'm going to be putting all my resources of oncology and integrative oncology and all the lessons I've learned on how to change my body from a producer to a fighter. And so I think there's lots of lessons that I've learned there that I want to make sure people understand. And then we have a biohacking community that's just like, hey, anything, if you're interested in
Mhm.
biohacking and you like cold therapy or red light therapy,
Mhm.
what is the science behind those and why would you do those? And well, one thing I do want to really quickly tell
Yeah.
people is there's 7 things that you can do for free for your health. So just
Mhm.
this is my free gift to everybody is just
Yeah.
try to do a couple of these things and
Okay.
then stack them up. If you can do
Yeah.
all 7 in the day, great, right? The
Okay.
first one is gratitude in the morning, right? Get up and have gratitude, and it just gives you the half glass full instead of empty in your day. And it's good when you're doing your prayers, be very grateful and say the things that you are grateful for that get
Mhm.
you in the right start of the day. But then make sure from a health perspective, you're hydrating. Most
Yeah.
people are not getting enough water. So
Mhm.
I'm about 200 pounds, so I need about 100 ounces of water. So just do that
Mhm.
math on your own and
Yeah.
just get that much water every day. Make sure it's
Mhm.
filtered water and good water and sprinkle
Mhm.
some lemon in there that will help in the morning. But then the next 3 are pretty simple. They're done typically outside, right? Go outside, get that vitamin D that we talked about earlier, get
Mhm.
on your body. That first 45 minutes of the day, it's called blue light. And there's
Mhm.
no UV rays in that light, and it's just so beneficial for your body.
Mhm.
And God designed it, right? God's the first thing He created was light.
Mhm.
So you'll get some on your body. It's really important. But while you're out there, take your socks
Yeah.
and shoes off and get your feet on God's given earth.
Mhm.
Grounding is amazing. I didn't really believe this at all. My wife had to t tell me about
Okay.
this because I have really sensitive feet. I thought she was crazy.
Oh.
But
Really?
then I went and learned and researched about how positive grounding is for you. It literally discharges the negative energy in your body and refreshes the energy inside your body just by being on God's given earth. So you do that, you get some sun, and then you do these breathing techniques, deep breathing techniques that you can research. Wim Hof, Wimhoff, and he's got these simple breathing techniques that you can do. It's really just deep breathing, hold, and then you
Mhm.
exhale and you do it for a specific pattern for 7 minutes. And the awesome thing about that is the research shows that it'll add 7 years to your life if you do those breathing techniques every day. So it's like
Wow.
you have to breathe anyway. Why not?
Right?
Why not just do it in the programmatic way for 7 minutes? Doesn't
Yeah.
take very long, and it
Right.
just floods your body with oxygen. And so really, really good. So those are the four things, and then the next ones are movement, right? You need to move. You
Yes.
get up off the couch and get up off of your chair if you're working, and get your movement. Get those 10,000 steps or what, as many steps as you can during the day, because God built us to move. We need to
Mhm.
move. And then the other one is just nutrition, right? You need to that your body needs 96 nutrients in a day, and so you need to make sure that you get the right nutrients inside his body. And that's why, I'm such an advocate for the things that God put on this earth, right? He literally gave us the things we need. So stay away from ultra processed foods and eat good nutrition and whole foods, and that will help a ton. And then the last one is just rest. That's where our bodies repair. We need to sleep well. So get a good routine in the afternoon and the late evening. Get rid of all the blue lights and from you for the first next the 2 hours before you go to bed. So don't watch
Mhm.
TV. Don't look at your phone for 2 hours before you go to bed, and it's going to help set that circadian rhythm. By you
Mhm.
getting the sunlight early in the morning and then reducing your blue lights and lights a
Mhm.
couple hours before you go to bed. Your circadian rhythm is going to be on point, and that's where you recover is
Yeah.
during your sleep. And so if you do a combination of a couple of those every single day,
Yeah.
your life is going to improve dramatically. And then you're
Right.
going to start adding those together. And I literally do all seven almost every single day,
Mm.
as much as I can. So
So
that
good.
those are really important for people's health. So do
That's
that.
amazing.
You're going to like it,
Yeah.
and you're going to say, this guy's not
Right.
as crazy as I think he is.
Well, and did you guys catch that too? Like it's free, right? It's
Right.
like he just gave you like the world back for here's a gift. Here's a huge gift. It's a free gift that God has literally given all of us and we can tap into it every day. I know like I've talked to people before, just suggesting the water aspect. Literally you take
Yeah.
your weight and cut it in half. And I've heard people have massive testimonials and breakthrough just even in adding in the proper amount of water. It's
Yeah.
free. It's free
It
water.
is,
We
and
need
it's
it.
it's something that's so simple, but you just don't think about it, right? But if you
Right,
just
right.
be intentional about those things, and
Yes.
it will make a huge difference in your world. That's why I call it, stacking, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
bio-stacking. You
yeah.
stack these things on top of each other, and seven
Hmm.
sounds like a lot of things, but they're so simple. It's like they're
Yeah,
really not hard. And
exactly.
if you do four one day and three the
Mhm.
next, at least
Yeah,
you're doing some.
yeah.
But man, it's going to help you a lot if
Exactly.
you do them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I usually ask people at the end of the show to share any other words of advice or wisdom, and I think you just shared that with
Yeah,
everybody.
there you go. I
So
love it.
thank you so much for being on again. What is the website? If you would just speak out your website out loud, and then I'll add all of your contact information in the show notes so people can get a hold of you.
Sounds good. It's exodusstrong.com.
Okay,
And
perfect. Well, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lord, for like keeping Rob standing strong and continuing
amen.
him on this journey to impact so many. So we thank you for that. I am going to close with the Hope Unlocked anchoring verse. It's may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. And that's Romans 15:13. So thank you, Rob, and
Amen.
thank you, listeners, for tuning in today. And thank you, Rob, again. I have to say, thank you for being a brave voice who's setting so many free. I'll be back with another episode next week. Thanks, listeners.
God bless.
Thank you.